Hello. Today we are going to be talking about why goals won't actually help you build discipline. So, one of the common approaches to achieving discipline is to pursue some sort of goal. And the idea here is that if you pursue this goal that you are motivated to pursue, or maybe not, in any way, if you pursue this goal, you will build discipline eventually because discipline is required to achieve goals. And therefore, if you pursue a certain goal, you will build discipline through that. However, I want to break down two things. First of all, a goal is basically just a pursuit of some sort of external reward. So, for example, you can have the goal of gaining status or fame, right? That can be one of your goals. So, let's say hypothetically, if you have this goal of gaining status, right? Think about all the ways that you can gain status. You can build up a brand, personal brand, right? You can do some meaningful work that can help people. And in doing so, you'll be recognized. And these things, sure, they would require discipline because they're long-term goals. But what else can you do? Well, you can play video games. In video games, you get plenty of status, and quite quickly, in fact. And this is the exact problem with pursuing external rewards, such as a feeling of accomplishment through money, status, etc. These things are all simulated by the companies that want to keep you addicted. And they do this on purpose because they know that you want status. They know that you want money. They know that you want a feeling of connection with people like you. They know that you want the feeling of making progress. They know all of these things. And so they engineer it into their products, whether it be video games, whether it be junk food, whether it be scrolling. They engineer these exact sort of feelings into their products to keep you hooked. And by the way, if you want to learn exactly how you combat this sort of thing, you can check out Top Link in the description. That's my full mental health book. Anyways, so understand that if you're pursuing some sort of an external reward, you have so many easier options available to you. In video games, you can gain status so quickly and so easily just by getting a little bit good at the game and spending more time on the game. And companies know that. That is why they do that. It's because they want you to spend more time on the game, because they know what you really crave is status. So, the problem with this is, since goals are pursuit of an external reward, if you try to pursue an external reward, you are not necessarily bound to either of these things, right? You are not necessarily bound to the truly helpful things that will actually meaningfully change your life. You very well may just find yourself doing something much easier, such as playing video games, such as scrolling, such as binging Netflix or eating junk food, because the modern world has made all of these things so accessible to us. The modern world has made a feeling of status, a feeling of accomplishment so easy. And so we just go for the easiest alternative instead of actually trying to do something that would benefit us in real life in the long run. Right? Our brains seek comfort, and so we just go for the easiest route, right? If we're at point A and we need to go somewhere, and let's say point B is a little here. So we're at point A, right? We're down here. And let's say point B is here, and point C is here. We, instead of going from point A to point C, which is, true status or true accomplishment or true relationships, we go from point A to point B, which is just a sort of watered down simulated feeling of status, of connection, of accomplishment. And we do this because the companies have engineered their products to make us want to do this. We specifically go for whatever is easiest. So inherently, by pursuing some sort of an external reward, you are opening up the possibility to easier versions of that thing, such as video games, such as scrolling, such as binging Netflix. So, if you're trying to pursue an external reward, you will find yourself going towards these things. Because you've opened up the option for that, your brain will automatically gravitate towards the easiest option, and that is what you'll find yourself desiring. So, That's the first reason why goals won't actually help you build discipline. The second reason is because goals often require motivation anyways, right? So let's say, for example, to achieve status, you say, okay, you know what? I know video games are bad. Let me say, okay, I'll just focus on work, right? I know exactly what I'm doing, and work can't be bad, right? Video games, we know they're bad. Work can't be bad. So if I focus on this one thing, then great, I'm doing well. But the problem here is that you fall into the exact same motivation cycles again and again and again. You'll find yourself waking up one day really happy and excited, and then you'll go and work, and you'll do that for maybe like 2 weeks. And then the moment, let's say you're, I don't know, an entrepreneur starting a business, the moment something in your business goes wrong, the moment you experience a little bit of difficulty, you'll start to draw back from this goal. You'll start to have your motivation fade away, and you won't actually make progress. And then, because you're not making progress, oh, business is too hard. Let me just try another thing. Maybe I'll try coding or something like that. Because, oh, no, that business model wasn't even good anyway. It was too hard. So let me try like drop shipping or something. And you just keep going like shiny object syndrome into different goals. And one of these goals very may well be the easiest one possible, such as these bad habits like video games and scrolling. So you find yourself in this motivation cycle because your goal is the external reward itself. Your goal is not to be disciplined, so you have no reason to be disciplined. Your goal is simply to gain status through some sort of a business, okay? We'll just change that to business. Your goal is to gain status, gain money, whatever, through a business, hypothetically. You do not care about discipline then. All you care about is whatever will get you to that goal of gaining status, money, whatever you want through a business. And so you will do whatever it takes to get here, not taking discipline into account. Whether that be going through countless motivation cycles, trying out different business models here and there until something eventually works out, you did not build up discipline through that. You got motivated, then you failed, then you waited for some time, then you got motivated again, then you failed, and then you just keep doing that. Maybe eventually you'll make some progress, but because discipline is not your goal, you are not actually building discipline. You are stuck in motivation cycles, chasing things one after the other, like shiny object syndrome. So, the only goal that will actually help you build discipline is the goal of building discipline. No external goal will help you build discipline because the only thing that you care about is the goal. And you will try, if you find, here's what really happens, right? So we know that what we really want is C, but we'll keep finding different things to pursue, right? So let's say we go try from A to B. If that doesn't work, guess what? We'll just try A to E. That doesn't work? Okay, great. We'll try A to F, right? We'll try so many different ways, and none of them will work because what we really want is C. But as I said, the brain does not want to actually go and do this difficult thing because you haven't trained up your discipline. So you'll continue trying to find these easy shortcuts, these quick hacks, these quick fixes, and these easy paths towards your goals instead of actually building up the discipline. And so the problem becomes you don't actually make progress in the goal that you're trying to pursue, as well as making discipline itself. Okay? You will continue staying in this zone, whereas where you really want to be is there. So the only goal that will actually help you build discipline is the goal of building discipline. You need to approach your life with the goal of building discipline. You need to have certain practices where you specifically do them only for the purpose of building discipline. Because again, if you attach any external reward to it, any external reward at all, you will inevitably have some sense of motivation, and you will inevitably have a possibility of falling into this trap where you're just trying to find the easiest things. Motivation is fine, and motivation is good actually for having your goals, having that sort of initial start towards your goals. However, if you want to build discipline, if you want to be able to, let's say, start the gym now and keep going to the gym like when you're in your 80s, if you want to have that level of discipline, you need to build it. And the only way you can do that is with the goal of building discipline. Otherwise, you'll work out for like maybe a year, maybe two, and you'll be like, oh, progress in the gym is kind of getting hard. It was probably just my newbie gains, and this is pretty much my natural limit, so, I'll just stop working out now. Great. You built literally zero discipline. Congratulations. Now, when you need that discipline for an actually important goal, let's say, something much more long-term, like truly building, a physique that you're proud of, or truly building a business that you're proud of, you need discipline to put you through those hard times when you don't have motivation. So, have certain practices in your day that are solely there for building discipline. This could be something as simple as making your bed. There's no external reward attached to it. This could be meditation. Meditation does have some sort of an external reward attached to it, but it's so insignificant in terms of your perception of it, right? Like, you don't immediately get this like dopamine high of like, oh my gosh, like I achieved something and I see instant progress when I meditate. Like, it's so slow. It is very effective at building presence, but it's so slow that you can actually build up discipline through that, right? So these kinds of little things here and there that are pretty much only there for building discipline and that doesn't have any motivation. It's not cool, right? It's not exciting. That is what you need to do to actually build discipline. So don't pursue any shiny objects. Don't pursue any cool looking goals. And expect to build discipline through that. I'm saying it's fine. Like, if you have this goal, great, that's a respectable goal. Totally, go for it. However, understand that unless you also simultaneously put in specific practices for building up your discipline, you will not actually build any discipline through this because you're motivated the entire way through up until your motivation fades and you lose it all, right? It's like trying to chain your your triceps by doing bicep curls, right? You are using motivation, you're using your biceps in the bicep curl, and you're expecting discipline, right? So, have the goal of building discipline and have certain practices that specifically go towards this goal, right? Not practices that go toward any external goal of like, oh, like just building a nice physique or, starting a business. These are all respectable goals. But to truly build discipline, you do need certain practices that are solely there for the discipline that you don't really feel the reward of. And so you don't feel motivated to do that. That is how you build discipline. So we talked a little bit about what exactly you want to set your goals to be like to really build discipline. However, we haven't quite talked about how you go about progressing toward those goals, how you go about building systems that keep you disciplined, and that even if you have one missed day of discipline, how you get right back on it the next day, how you stop falling off, how you stop going through these motivation cycles. All of that is in the discipline chapter of my full mental health book, which you can check out in the top link in the description. So my full mental health book goes in depth on protocols that you can use to develop your discipline, whether that be through your social life, whether that be in the long run when you're already successful. How do you keep building up discipline over and over and over again? Why it's so important to have discipline in the first place? Why our discipline is being undermined? Any questions at all that you have about discipline will be answered in that full mental health book. And by the way, discipline is only one of the 6 chapters of my mental health book. In the other 5 chapters, we go through the other mental health capacities that I talk about. So like willpower, motivation, presence, enjoyment, stress management. Any mental health capacities that you need to live the best life that you can, to actually achieve the goals that you want to, instead of getting stuck in these cycles over and over and over, to actually feel like you're doing something, to feel some sort of joy in life instead of feeling flat and apathetic all the time, to stop feeling overwhelmed. All of that is covered in depth, in such an excruciating level of depth that you will have no questions whatsoever on exactly what to do. That all is covered in the full mental health book. So please do check that out. I think it would really help you. That's all, and I will see you in the next one.